Are you ready to learn how to write copy, even if you have never done it before? We're about to learn how to make content that is convincing, interesting, and gets people to take action in this in-depth lesson. This guide is made just for you, whether you want to be a writer or a business owner who wants to improve your messages. Written communication will likely be one of the most sought-after skills in 2024. In fact, some editing jobs could pay up to $100,000 a year. Why? Every business would benefit from having someone who can write great material. Any business, from small startups to Fortune 500 companies, and everything in between, can use copywriting to make or break their success. The truth is that anyone can learn how to write copy. You don't need a degree or any other kind of special training to get good at this skill. Whether you want to become an independent copywriter or just want to improve the copy for your own business, this tutorial will give you the basics you need to start writing more effectively. What is copywriting? Writing copy is the art of coming up with words to use for advertising or promotion. Its goal is to get people to buy your products or use your services and build a name for your brand. One of the main goals of copywriting is to get people to do what you want them to do, like buy something, sign up for something, or do something else. There are lots of different ways to write copy. Commercials, web pages, brochures, white papers, material for social media sites, and brand taglines are all types of copywriting. Of course, these are only a few cases. There's a lot more to copywriting than just words, though. The best copy tells an interesting story while still staying true to your brand's image. People who read what you've written are more likely to act because it pulls at the lines that prompt them to make a choice. Selling things or services isn't what copywriting is all about. It's selling thoughts and ways of life. According to Google Trends, the number of searches about copywriting has been at an all-time high for the past 10 years. This is true all over the world. That's why learning how to write copy is more important than ever right now. 1. Grammatically sound. Yes, this should be clear, but you'd be surprised at how often I find mistakes in the writing I'm revising. Making spelling and grammar mistakes in your writing could hurt your general goal, so make sure you proofread carefully. People who read short pieces of copy often are more likely to think negatively about the brand, product, or service in question when they come across a mistake in it. Please don't get the wrong idea. I'm not saying that everyone is perfect. There will be times when I make a mistake because I write more than 25,000 words every week. On the other hand, a 3,000-word blog post with 1 or 2 spelling or grammar mistakes can be missed. If there is misspelled words on the homepage or in a short sales email, that is a much bigger problem. Don't give in to the urge to rush through this process. That tool should be used to change your writing. Read the piece out loud. Before you post it, look it over 2 or even 3 times. You should have someone else look over your work if you need to. 2. Persuasion. Making a point is what makes a piece of writing appealing. You need to write in a way that makes people want to do what you want them to do. Why would someone want to buy your product? What are the pros for them of signing up for your email newsletter? You're not selling watches. You're selling a high-class way of life. If you want to protect your buyers, you're not selling insurance. Figure out what emotions you want the reader to have after reading your work. Then look for the best way to use words to make them feel those emotions. 3. Jargon-free. Don't use industry-specific jargon in your work. If you're a lawyer, even someone who has never worked in the legal field should be able to understand what you're saying. If you are a doctor, you should make sure that your writing is clear enough that people who aren't experts in medicine can understand it. At all costs, you should stay away from slang and terms. People generally think that slang is impolite, so you can't just assume that everyone knows what you mean when you use it. Good copywriters can explain complicated ideas in simple terms that even a 5th grader can understand. 4. Strong call to action, CTA. Telling people about your brand, goods, or services, and what your business is all about is only half the battle. In addition, you should make sure that the watcher knows what they need to do next. What do you want your copy to do for you? It should be easy for whoever is reading it to understand. If you want people to buy something, make sure that the word you wanted to send has been received. It is not okay to leave people guessing what we should do. Make calls to action, CTAs, that will get people to convert. 5. SEO friendly. You can only find this part in the copy of a webpage. As a writer, you should always try to write in a way that makes your work search engine helpful. Keywords that help your sites get a high rank in these SERPs, search engine results pages, should be used. When it comes to ranking material overall, keywords are just one of many factors that are taken into account. Web content that is search engine optimized is very important. but it might not make or break you. Because of this, don't fill your content with buzzwords that detract from its quality. 6. Direct. A good piece of writing starts and ends with the main idea. You need to be able to get your point across with as few words as possible. Keep your lines and paragraphs short to avoid using words like fluff and filler in your writing. Learn how to write powerful copy. When you use long sentences, it's easy for the reader to get lost or confused. I already talked about how important it is to write content that doesn't have any grammar mistakes. You can break some rules of language if your writing is clear and to the point. To make your point, you could write 3 sentences that are all made up of one word, and then put them next to each other. 7. Captivating lead. The best writing always starts with an interesting premise. You need to find a way to get people to read your work, like a title, subheading, subject line, or opening lines. Use words that do something to get people's attention. People might be interested if you start with a fun fact, figure, or number. From the field of marketing comes an old proverb that says the main purpose of a headline is to get the reader to read the next line. The goal of your first line should be to get people interested enough in your second line, and so on. Because of this, the rest of your text won't stand a chance if the beginning doesn't grab people's attention. 8. Channel specific. There is no guarantee that every piece of text you write can be used in all of your marketing platforms again and again. The copy on landing pages should be different from the text on billboards. Different copy should be used for emails and for posts on different social media platforms. It's still important to make content that is unique for each platform, even if you're advertising the same product or deal on all of them. There are a few things about your performance that will need to be changed based on the channel. These include the tone, style, length, and delivery of your work. In general, as a customer goes further down the sales funnel, the content gets longer. This isn't a rule that can't be broken, but it works in the vast majority of situations. There will only be a few words on a billboard that is meant to help people remember a brand. A main page inside your site will have more text than your homepage. Product pages will have a little more information and detail than landing sites. The tone of the content on product pages and landing pages will be different from the tone of the content in emails. Because of this, you shouldn't just start writing text without a plan or an idea of how it will be used. Always keep in mind what kind of communication channel you are writing for and change your style to fit. 9. Audience awareness. Not only do you need to know how your copy will be sent out, but you also need to know exactly who will be reading it. The person who visits your site might not know your brand, but the person who signs up for your email updates probably does now. Because of this, you won't have to introduce yourself and tell the story of your business in every email promotion. That is a waste of good words, and the fact that it is used over and over again can quickly lose people's interest in what you have to say. Write material that will interest the people who are interested in your specific area of expertise. Do not make the mistake of going after everyone. The types of people who buy from a business that sells corporate software are different from those who buy from a business that sells surfboards and skateboards. Know the difference between them. 10. Clear understanding of the offering. A lot of people who are just starting out as copywriters make the mistake of starting to write right away. You shouldn't even start writing the first word until you really understand what you're selling, whether it's a brand, an offer, a product, or a service. Say you're a freelance writer and a company pays you to write copy for their landing pages. It might be hours or days before you even think about writing anything, depending on how hard the gift is. You can't tell someone about the details of the offer if you don't fully understand what is being offered.